Hi, and welcome to SpringPath's College and Career Readiness Success Tracks. I'm Elisa Ocone, Director of Outreach, and today we are talking about how to engage with your school counselor in Success Track 1, Episode 1. So, high school counselors deserve a whole lot of respect. They have multiple responsibilities, limited time, yet they're truly your ally in making your post secondary plans. And in this session, we'll go over ways to make the most of your time with your school counselors, especially important for those ninth graders just starting out in high school, or even someone who has switched high schools and needs to engage with that school counselor. So again, topics that we'll cover today: the overall responsibilities of your school counselors, getting on their schedule, continuing to communicate with them, and then of course being patient because of all of those incredible responsibilities that they do have. So let's talk about what some of those responsibilities are. And of course, this is not a comprehensive list, but just to give a little bit of insight. Certainly, those school counselors have multiple responsibilities and tasks that live outside of college and career prep. So, although that is very important and on our minds as we start to make those plans, certainly it's not the only piece of the puzzle in terms of what those school counselors have to accomplish day in and day out. They also have limited time for every individual student. Many school counselors have a large number of students on their caseload, so they have to be, and students have to be very strategic about how to make all of that fit within the confines of the school schedule. They certainly also have extreme knowledge about the college and career prep process. So, as I said before, really an ally and a go-to for all of that, college and career prep information. And in that way, they certainly have an impact on your post secondary plan, especially for those of you who will be applying to colleges and universities. Counselors are often writing letters of recommendation or some sort of evaluation for you. And admissions professionals will oftentimes reach out to a school counselor if they have questions, or if there's a student on the bubble or a borderline application where they might want to reach out and talk about a certain applicant or confirm that certain activities took place. So, again, really wanting to impress upon you the importance of establishing a good rapport and a good relationship with your school counselors. So, getting on their schedule is certainly an important piece. So, as an incoming high school student, if you aren't automatically set up with a meeting in ninth grade to meet your new school counselor, I suggest making, and even more importantly, keeping. So, make sure you, however you document your appointments and schedules, to make sure you keep that appointment, to introduce yourself. And the same goes for if you're a new student to a particular high school. So if you completed 1 year at one high school and are moving in as a 10th grader or 11th grader, or even sometimes senior year, to make sure that you try to get on that counselor schedule sooner than later so you can introduce yourself and again start to establish that relationship, which again is great if you can do it over time. But if you have limited time and you're meeting a new counselor, or a new counselor is assigned to you junior or senior year, then of course you want to make the most of that time that you have. So beyond that initial appointment, check in every now and then, so that you can get to know each other. Again, best case scenario over the course of a 4 year high school career, but with whatever time you're given with that particular person. All right, so next slide here is continuing to communicate and what that communication can look like. Some students have limited appointments with their school counselors, maybe once a year over those 4 years of high school. Hopefully, it can be a little bit more. But again, to make those meetings and those appointments that you have count, make sure to ask questions. So when you go to see your school counselor, whether it's an appointment that was set up by them or you, though it can be difficult to put yourself out there, know that again, your school counselor is an ally. So try your best not to be shy. They have knowledge to share about a whole host of things. But certainly in this post-secondary planning, ask questions. Ask, a question about the college experience. Ask if they know what trade schools are close to you and what they offer, and what they think about you as a student and how that all might fit together. So again, the more questions you can brainstorm to bring to those school counselor meetings, the better for everybody. And ask them for advice. Ask them to go over your grades with you. Ask them to share information about leadership opportunities or community service opportunities that might be available within the school community, or within your larger town or city community. So again, they have a wealth of knowledge to share, but you just need to ask them and know what kinds of questions to ask for. But again, a great resource for looking at you as a high school student and then what that can translate into. So again, advice, grades, obviously they help you through course selection. But again, view that school counselor as an ally and really know that they have a lot to offer. And then certainly because you can't necessarily get in to meet with a school counselor all of the time for an in-person meeting, keep them up to date on your accomplishments, or if you have questions via email. It's an important piece of the puzzle. Maybe you just want to share a little something. And again, it um, it keeps the lines of communication open. It increases that good rapport with that school counselor, and they of course want to know if something great has happened in your academic environment, in your home life. But certainly keeping those lines of communication open in person when you can, via email when you can, and certainly you can leave a voicemail as well. Not so much the norm anymore. But again, the main point here is just to continue to communicate over the course of your high school career. And then I'll end with being patient. As we've talked about, there are a lot of students on a school counselor's caseload. There are a lot of daily tasks and tasks that go for a marking period or a semester or the whole year. So there's a whole lot on these professionals' plates. So be respectful of their time. Schedule appointments in advance if you're able to. As I said on a previous slide, keep those appointments to the best of your ability. And then when it comes to voicemails or emails, don't expect responses to emails and voicemails after hours. Again, you might have something that's super urgent and pressing to you, but we need to be respectful of everybody's personal time as well and work-life balance. And just know that I'm sure that your school counselor will follow up with you as soon as possible. So again, it's just being patient with them through the process, remembering to say thank you, all of the little things that you can do to engage and to foster mutual respect and trust with your school counselor will pay off for you in the end. Number one, just through your high school career and knowing that you have someone you can go to and talk to about whatever it is that you're feeling or thinking or questioning, whether it's concerns about school or your post-secondary plan, all of that goodwill that you are establishing with them through the years help in that process, again, help you feel comfortable and help that person get to know you so that when it does come time to write a letter of recommendation or some sort of academic evaluation, you have that person on your side. All right, hope this was helpful today. Again, just a little snippet of how you can maximize your time and foster a good relationship with your school counselor. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next episode.